Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
Which celebrity do you think was unfairly cancelled? Corey Feldman literally warned about child abuse in their business and was speaking from experience. And was shut down, and that cunt Barbara Walters said, "You're damaging an entire industry." Here is the footage. If your industry is damaged when you expose pedophilia, maybe it's not a good industry to be in. R.I.P. Our good buddy, Corey Haim. You deserved better. Janet Jackson. That was double extra unfair because not only was Justin Timberlake not cancelled, he played the halftime show again in Minnesota in 2018. The 2018 halftime show should have featured Janet performing with Justin and everybody involved in the 2004 shenanigans apologizing to Janet. Instead we got just Justin. Justin Timberlake's most successful album was like 2 years after the Super Bowl. He had no consequences whatsoever. Janet was completely blacklisted by Clear Channel and her career totally ended so fast that people act like she was already a has-been at that point. She wasn't. Her previous album had 2 #1 hits, her highest debut week sales ever, and won a Grammy. It's the most jarring example of 2 people guilty of the same thing being treated incredibly differently by the media. Edit. Just adding for anyone under 30 like me. Go listen through Janet's discography on Spotify. She's actually a fucking icon, and did amazing work before she was cancelled. Edit 2. I didn't realize until this post that this story was not well known outside the US. So what happened is that Janet and Justin were performing at the halftime show of the Super Bowl in 2004, which is the biggest American sporting event by a very large margin. To perform the halftime show is a huge deal and is done by a lot of huge artists at some point in their career. Rihanna is doing the one this year. At the end of their performance of Justin's song, Rock Your Body, Justin ripped off half of Janet's shirt and revealed her breast to all of America. It's understood this was a plan for a publicity stunt that went horribly wrong. But that's what happened. This was before TV waited a few seconds before broadcasting stuff live, so basically 1/3 Americans saw Janet's boob on TV. This is a big deal in the US because we are an incredibly prudish country. Though I understand it shouldn't have mattered in Europe, since like 9 Dutch people have questioned what the problem is. Justin suffered no consequences for this. But Janet was totally blacklisted from American radio and her career as a chart topper effectively ended that day. She has been redeemed as an icon in the last 5 years. But seriously, it was an abrupt end for someone who dramatically impacted music. Edit 3. The plan was for the top layer of her shirt to be ripped off but the bottom to still be there. Both got ripped off accidentally. This led to the phrase, wardrobe malfunction, becoming a thing in the US. It was supposed to be provocative, but not for her boob to be shown. For the Super Bowl halftime? Yeah, that was definitely unfair and over the top. But I was seriously traumatized by seeing a titty with tape over the nipple. Well, actually I missed the Super Bowl halftime show. But I was traumatized after I downloaded the video and tried to masturbate to it but found it was too short and realized there are millions of way more explicit videos of naked women online. Sinead O'Connor. All she did was let people know about the Catholic priest sex scandal before people wanted to hear it. All of it was true and even worse than we could ever imagine, and she was crucified for it. Pun intended. Hey man, if we're going to make crucifixion jokes, you've really got to nail the execution. I think it's unfair how long it took to cancel R. Kelly. Is he cancelled or did authorities finally arrest him? Just saying, Chris Brown might still be out there. Chris Brown is very much still out there, making music and touring. Just checked his Instagram to see what he's up to these days. And it looks like he has a European tour planned for the beginning of 2023. Eartha Kitt, original Catwoman, got blacklisted from Hollywood for calling out the president at the White House about the war. She still managed to pull off an amazing Wisma. Wisma will always be my favorite villain. Lol, her and Kronk just hit my funny bone every damn time. I served her in an upscale, small restaurant. Someone called and said she was on her way. Arrived alone. Sat and said to me, "I'll have a glass of white wine, a fish and a salad," without ever looking at a menu. In a perfectly purring voice. It was surreal and semi-erotic. And she was probably 70 at the time. I don't care what she said about a war, and she was probably right. Brendan Fraser. All I want is for him to star in cheesy PG-rated jungle movies again. It's like CGI Rock took the Mummy franchise from Brendan. And then took his entire PG-rated jungle movie niche from him too. Wait, he was cancelled? I thought he was just forgotten about. Different type of cancelled. He was blacklisted in Hollywood for bringing to light that he got sexually harassed by some studio executive. He wasn't cancelled by fans or anything like that. Edit. Sexually assaulted, not harassed. More so blackballed until recently. Wasn't Rose McGowan cancelled for basically calling out the shady shit that Harvey Weinstein and others were doing? Mira Sorvino and Ashley Judd were also blacklisted because they spoke out about his abhorrent behavior. She was cancelled by him all right. He basically put a stop to her career. He did the same thing to Ashley Judd. She was originally considered for Galadriel in Low TR, but he told Peter Jackson that she was difficult and he shouldn't hire her. Courtney Love. Shannon Doherty. Basically 99% of all actresses that are hard to work with usually just means wouldn't blow. Harvey Weinstein. Quote, "Oh yeah, Courtney called him out long before everyone knew what he was doing.